Alhamdulillah for everything.
Alhamdulillah.
Been our loss, Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, everything God gave me.
Yes, guys, hope you're doing well. Amin here from the NH2. We're finally back, and today I've got a special guest coming on, Makise. How you doing, brother?
Yes, I'm good, thank you, mate. How are you?
Doing good, thank you. Doing good. So, Makise has come from Hemel, correct?
Yeah.
Nice 50-minute drive down here.
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad.
Good. How you feeling? Good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, yeah.
Good, good. So, for those watching, I'm sure all of you know Makise with the stuff he's done at Stevenage and Colchester now. But do you want to introduce yourself? Tell the viewers who you are, what you do.
Yeah, so obviously Makise Evans, just turned 19, and I've recently just signed at Colchester. Was recently at Stevenage, had about 3 years there, and so now I'm on to my next journey at Colchester, and we've just got to see how that goes.
Cool. And obviously, with all my guests, I like to start from the beginning, so people relate to you, they see what they can take from your journey. So go over your early life, growing up, little Makise, introduced to the world. How's that like?
Yeah, so when I was young, I didn't really have much influence from other people in football, to be fair. Obviously, my parents, my dad mainly supported Tottenham, so obviously I ended up supporting Tottenham just because he did, but I didn't have much influence in football with other parents, family members that were really pushing it to do well in that. But obviously I enjoyed football as any kid does, so I just started playing, and then joined some local teams, Cheshire with my mates, and then just kept enjoying it from there, really, playing at school, and then just kind of moved up in different teams and locally, really.
Yeah. And how was it like supporting Spurs growing up?
Well, I can't really remember much, but so at least we're starting to win some trophies now.
Yeah. Finally, after a long wait, but
Yeah.
It's happened. And let's go over football. Obviously, you said you were introduced to it. Were you at the beginning? Were you kind of good at football? Were people like spotting your talent, or was it just a passion thing, and then you picked it up from there?
I think mainly at first it was kind of a passion thing, but obviously parents and friends probably would say to me, "Oh yeah, you're quite good. Maybe try and get to this club, or whatever." But I really just was playing just for the enjoyment of it in the first place, really.
Yeah, that's the best thing, doing things for the love of it. And then if you have talent, obviously you take things further.
Yeah.
And with local football, you said obviously you played in Cheshire with your friends and stuff like that. How is it like kind of playing for that kind of professional, a bit more professional than school lunchtime football?
Yeah, to be fair, it wasn't really that professional. Obviously, we was only young, just having a kick about with our mates and just trying to enjoy it, really. I think it was a friendly league, so there wasn't even point system or anything. But once I was there for quite a while, I ended up moving house and then moved team when I went into secondary school, into some other teams like Hemel Hempstead's youth teams and stuff like that.
Yeah. And when you made that step, moving obviously, and then you moved clubs, you moved new life almost completely. How did you settle in when you moved?
Yeah, so I'd moved just before year 7, so settling into a new school, trying to make new friends, and then once I'd made those new friends, that's when I'd tried to join a team, playing with them, and then I think it was good when moving when you're young helps you in life, dealing with new situations, adapting, so it was good. But obviously I'm still in contact with all my old friends, so it was good.
Your day ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you made that kind of change to Hemel, was it was it tough being a young guy, year 6 moving on to year 7, or did you just, football helped you kind of make new friends?
No, yeah, it weren't really tough, to be fair. I just make friends in school, and obviously you have football in common, so that tends to bring you to your friend group, really.
Mm-hmm. And in Hemel, obviously, you settled in new school, new thing, everything. Were you always a school guy, or was just football your main thing?
No, to be fair, I was quite good at school. I didn't really dislike it or I didn't love it, but just got on with it. I knew if I didn't do well in school, then I'm not going out and playing football on the weekend, so...
Yeah. Staying in,
yeah.
reading up. And with Hemel, obviously, you said you moved on to these clubs and things like that. What was your next step after kind of just local pickup football, moving on to the next stage?
So after Hemel, I was still quite local, to be fair. I moved to Sun Sports, and then I started joining teams like PSA, and then that was on Saturdays, and then I'd play Sun Sports on Sundays. And then from Sun Sports, I ended up moving to Enfield Borough's youth team. And then that paired with PSA really helped with my development, I think, because it was starting to take football a lot more seriously, and it was more focused on development rather than just to kick about with your mates. And then from then started doing county with my friend, with the school, all the schools joining up together. and then Harpenden under 18s while I was still probably about 15, 14, 15, yeah, probably 15 years old. And then from there, I think I was at Enfield, and then PSA, the manager there, Kieran, know him quite well. He ended up getting me a trial at Stevenage, and then, yeah, joined there after about 10 weeks on trial. So, yeah.
Kicked off from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and was that the big difference from playing in Chesham to getting these trials? Just the kind of seriousness to it?
Yeah, I think because every team I went to was a little step up, so just having to become better to deal with the better opposition, better teammates getting in the team and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Did you enjoy that jump, or?
Yeah, I
Just
enjoyed it,
fitted
to be
in?
fair. It made me a better player, and I was still enjoying it. I still had friends in the team, so it's not like I was just playing with some random guys trying to make it. I was still just trying to play for fun, really.
Yeah, that's true. And you were a younger guy as well. I mean, looking at the stats here as well, you're the youngest player to debut for Stevenage. So how is that competing with guys older than you?
Yeah, I think you just got to take it as in you're in the same squad, you're all competing. At that point, age doesn't really matter. You could get someone that's 2 years younger than you in younger year groups coming up playing. So I think you've just got to take age out of the equation and just focus on yourself and do the best that you could do. So once I joined Stevenage, obviously on a scholar, I knew I was younger, but it didn't really bother me, to be honest. I just get my head down and keep working.
Hmm. Was there any difference at all you felt? Or like you said, obviously, quality at the end of the day is what matters. Doesn't matter your age or anything. But did you feel that some things were disadvantaged, like maybe strength or experience or things like that?
Not really, to be honest, because it's I was younger, but still all in the same year, so it's not nothing major. Yeah.
That's good. And did you always see yourself as a kind of forward, or did you start out different places?
I think I started out as a centre back, to be honest. Yeah, centre back, centre mid. Just loved crunching people in
Yeah.
midfield, just smashing tackles. But yeah, started out there. Then I moved to wing back, and then forward was really the most recent position that I'd played in, actually. So yeah, but still there, forward, striker, winger.
Yeah, that's good. And what do you think made you like stand out as a player? Was it pace? Was it strength? Was it shooting? What was it?
I think my main attribute, I've been told a lot that makes me stand out, is just my work ethic. I'm never giving up. Like, we could be 3-0 down last minute of the game, but I'm always pushing, trying to get the team to where we want to be and get a win. But I think that's the main thing, just work ethic, and just all the running I do for the team, not like unselfish running as well. So
Mhm. That's the best thing, work ethic. Because you can have everything in the world, but if you're not working hard, if you're not training hard, if you're not looking to improve, especially as a young guy, you're not going to make it anywhere.
yeah,
So,
exactly
blessing.
that.
It's a blessing to have.
Yeah.
That's good. And at Stevenage, obviously you came in young. We've said it already. Who kind of believed in you? Who said that you have talent? We'd like to put you with the older guys and see how it works out.
Do you mean like put me into trying to get chances with the first team and that?
Yeah, like give you your shot.
Yeah. Well, at the time, when I first joined, we had for the 18s, we had a manager. We just call him Aggie. He's currently at Worthing, I think, first team, and then Ronnie Henry's now at Luton. Obviously, had a great playing career, but I think it was mainly Ron that really believed in me, and he was someone that helped push me. And then when we had Nick join as well, who's currently at Stevenage now, he was at Spurs and now he's back at Stevenage. I think Ron and Nick were two really good people to have in my development. They really helped me develop. They'd come out with me early. I'd ask them to go do extras out in the morning, out in the evening. They'd put on good sessions for the training. So, and then I think they were the ones that really believed in me and tried to push me towards that first team. And I think with Ron, especially when he was there first, it's what pushed me to going in the first team, because obviously as an 18s coach or manager, you're always reporting to the first team,
Yeah.
saying what players are like, and I know that if I'm doing well, that they're going to hear good feedback from him. So yeah.
Yeah. And would you say, it's going to sound weird here, but would you say you always were hungry when you were there? Because you saw guys, across different clubs, not just Stevenage, being given that shot and being played at, 16, 17, 18. Did you always want to work hard and be like those guys?
Yeah, I think anything I've seen online of other players going playing in the first teams, just use it as motivation rather than feeling sorry for myself, like, oh, why am I not there, blah, blah, blah. Just use it as motivation for myself to get there and push on into the first team so I can go and play there. And I think that's what ultimately helped me, just working towards it every day.
And it's happening more now. Like a lot more younger guys, 15, 16, starting. Like for example, Rio,
Yeah.
Liverpool scoring his debut, I think yesterday against
Yeah.
Newcastle or whatever. And you got guys at Chelsea, 16, 17 from the academy coming up. And do you think back then, like obviously maybe before you, did you see things like that happen much as now, or what do you think?
I'm not really sure, to be honest, because when I was younger, I wasn't really paying attention to. I wasn't much in the academy football bubble, so I wasn't really paying attention to what this player's doing, this player's coming up and playing. I was more just focused on myself and just enjoying football and playing with my mates.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And with training as well at Stevenage, it's obviously a lot more heavier than training for your Saturday club and things like that. What was training like firstly, and also how did you manage to balance that with school and things like that?
Well, when I joined Stevenage, I'd already finished school, so I went on trial at the end of year 11, and then after that, it was obviously straight into the scholar, so didn't have to manage it with any schoolwork really.
BTEC.
But obviously, yeah, we have our BTEC, but that's all scheduled in for us, so that was all right. And then, yeah, the intensity of training was much higher for the individual sessions, but the load overall wasn't that difficult for me because before I joined there, I was playing like 3 games a week, one for county, one for PSA, and one for Enfield, and then training various different training sessions every day. So I think the jump in load wasn't too much, but the jump in intensity was a bit more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And obviously this was the first time I'd properly been in the gym, so having to adapt to doing gym alongside football as well. But then I ended up adapting really well to it, and I just enjoyed being in the gym all the time.
We've been seeing the TikToks, the gym work. When's the workout plan coming out?
Get some more gym videos out, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And talk to us, obviously, before Stevenage. What did your week look like versus at Stevenage on your scholar?
Well, before Stevenage, I was obviously in school. I think it'd be Monday nights. I'd obviously go to school Monday, then I'd have Watford PDC. It was like some development thing. And then I think Tuesday nights I would train with Enfield. And then Wednesdays PSA, Thursdays Enfields. Friday, this advanced Watford PDC was like some of the better players from the original one. Go to on a Friday to Watford's training ground in the Dome and then train there. And then Saturday I'd play for PSA, Sunday I'd play for Enfield Borough. So
jam-packed.
yeah, every day, but yeah.
Any time for family or?
Yeah, obviously I had time for family. Like my family would come and watch me play the games because obviously I can drive, so they've had to take me to the games, and then still have loads of time after on the weekends. So yeah.
Yeah. Did you get tired at all, or was it just you loved it so much?
I didn't really get tired, to be honest. I think obviously once you played on a Saturday and you're playing on a Sunday again, your legs are going to be feeling it, but just put that to the back of my head and just got on with it.
Yeah, 'cause that's the thing I've seen with this applies to everything in life as well. Like when guys start out with nothing or start out with a dream, they don't really complain much. Like you hear these stories, these guys, they stay up all night or do this, do that, and they don't burn out. But some people obviously do. Like it depends on how much you want it.
Yeah.
And at Stevenage, when I'm guessing your calendar's changed completely because you were just with one thing, how does it look like at Stevenage?
So at Stevenage, I think it's pretty standard for quite a few clubs, especially in the EFL. I'm not sure about the Premier League academy teams, but we'd do training Monday, education for 3 hours on a Monday afternoon. Tuesday we'd be training. It'd be probably our toughest day of the week if we didn't have a game. And then we'd do gym and then a technical session, which was just passing, ball work, touches. And then we'd have Wednesdays, full day of college, 9 till 3, I would like to say. And then Thursday'd be very similar to the Tuesday, again with training, gym, technical. Friday, very light match prep session, and then Saturday game, Sunday off.
Yeah. And how was your kind of college school there? Like BTECs? Did you do BTECs?
Yeah, we've done a BTEC sport, and then you do your sport and excellence professional as well, which is part of the LFE, which all the EFL clubs do, which is kind of goes alongside with the BTEC, and it's not anything majorly hard, but obviously you've got to get your head down and make sure you get it done because you want to be trying your hardest in the classroom. You'll try your hardest on the pitch, for example. So yeah, but I think at first we started off in an actual external college, and then we ended up moving into the stadium. But it's all just your group of players, your team, so in your specific age group, so you're all close with each other.
What are those BTECs used for? Does it help you in future life at all? Or?
Yeah, so you can use it to get UCAS points, I'm pretty sure, if you wanted to go to uni and stuff like that. So, or if you wanted to become a PT, for example, we also do our coaching badges. We got UEFA C. So if you wanted to go into coaching, that's obviously a good pathway. If you didn't want to continue in football, or you didn't get any other offers, for example, then you could use that. So it's just it's a backup, but it's also something you could do alongside, because you can always go and coach in the evenings whilst you're playing still.
Yeah, relates to what you do. And at Stevenage, were there any moments that kind of stuck out for you? They were like, hang on, I'm here. I'm in the big leagues now. I'm with guys that are competing for the same thing.
I wouldn't really say I ever felt like I've got to the big leagues. Like, I'm still 19. I'm nowhere near made it at all. So I've just got to keep getting my head down at the moment to hopefully make it to somewhere big, somewhere in my career. But there was a few moments, obviously, that I'm like, wow, this is really big. This is something that I've wanted to achieve. Obviously, I've made my debut, and that was something that I was really like, oh yes, like I've got that feeling now. Now I want to continue to get that feeling every week. Playing in the first team, trying to get that feeling every week is just what I'm chasing at the moment. But yeah, that, and then obviously with Stevenage, I was on the bench when we got promoted and had all my friends and family there. It was another big moment, which was just like, it was just awesome to have, and it's just a memory I'm going to keep for life. But now I've never felt like I've got to, oh, I'm here because I'm only 19. I've only made 5 appearances. Like, I'm nowhere near it. I just need to get my head down and
more to come.
Yeah, 100%.
Exactly, yeah. And make your debut, obviously. Did you know that was going to happen at all, or was it just a surprise?
Well, I didn't know I was gonna make it, but I'd been training with the first team quite regularly, and obviously I had a decent loan period at Potter's Bar before, and I'd been recalled, and I'm training with the first team. I think like there was always a possibility, especially when the first team was so close to getting promotion. Once they get promotion, you're more likely to get obviously played in those last few games. But I did get a call the day before from the gaffer saying that I was travelling. So obviously you get your hopes up there that you're travelling, you might get on the pitch, but you could also be 19th man and not come on the pitch. But yeah, it was a great experience, to be fair, to go up there, travel, and then obviously make my debut.
Yeah, and let's talk about your loan as well. Your first one, Potter's Bar Town, and you're only 16 at the time, correct?
Yeah.
So how's your kind of feeling around being sent to another club?
It was a bit of a weird experience, to be fair, at first, because obviously you're in a men's changing room all the time and you're training on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening, which I hadn't done for that first part that I was at Stevenage. And the mentality is much more different. It's not more on development than when you're in academy, but when you're in that environment, no matter what level of first team, it's all about winning. So you've got to do whatever it takes to get that 3 points. So that was the big shift. And obviously physicality when you're playing against massive defenders that just want to head the ball up the pitch is a lot different.
Yeah, I always mention Big Keith, just all the big guys, and especially Potter's Bar Town as well. It's a bit lower down than Stevenage. So was it a big difference in terms of quality of football, or was it just the same old?
Yeah, obviously the quality was different, especially what you would compare to Stevenage's first team, but there's not like the quality's bad, so yeah.
Yeah, were you challenged?
Yeah, I think I was definitely challenged there. It took me a while to get my foot in, not to get my foot in, but to get used to it. But I did also have another player on loan from Stevenage, Theo, who was the year above me, was on loan there at the same time, so that I had someone to talk to and someone that was in a similar experience to me.
And you mentioned obviously the step up in football, playing with older guys. Was there moments where you kind of struggled to adapt and you had to learn from someone or look at kind of tapes or things like that to adapt to the
Yeah,
guys?
I think one of my weak points was definitely hold-up play, and obviously still something I'm trying to work on everything in my game at the moment. But that is way more prevalent when I was playing in that step-free loan. It's way more prevalent. You've got to look after the ball, especially as a forward. So that was like the main learning point I took from that. It's just learning how to use my body to keep the defenders off me, because if you don't have the ball, you can't win games.
Yeah. And stepping up to the level, obviously, as a young guy, do you feel the loan helped you learn things? Like, what things did you take out of it instead of just staying at Stevenage?
Yeah, because obviously in the under 18s, the league's more about development, but obviously everyone wants to win regardless. But like I said before, it's just more about winning. You learn game management, learn how to use my body more, and just becoming a more mature footballer.
As a young guy, 16, obviously, do you feel you were kind of targeted by the opposition defenders because you were the small kid from Stevenage, or were you just seen as like another guy?
Probably most of the other players on the other teams probably didn't even know that was a loanee from Stevenage, so they probably thought not much of it, to be honest.
Were you seen as were you the youngest guy in the squad, or
Yeah,
was
at the
everyone else?
time, yeah.
So you stood out a bit. With the Potspar Town loan, obviously, how long was it, and what were the your kind of aims to get out of it? Was it just game time? Was it just playing and getting experience, or?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily game time in general because I'd been playing regularly with the 18s, but it was game time in men's football. I think every young player needs to experience men's football to help them develop. I'm lucky enough to have done that on multiple occasions throughout my time at Stevenage. So yeah, it's just valuable experience to learn how to manage the game, just understand the game better.
Yeah, and then let's fast forward to April 2023 versus Mansfield Town. What happened there?
Yeah, so obviously we were talking about it just a bit before, but yeah, that's when I made my debut. Stevenage, one of the best moments of my life, to be honest, so far, anyways.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
did you have your family behind cheering you on?
No, I didn't actually, because it was an away game and it was on a Saturday. I think my parents had work or something, and it was obviously I'd found out on the Friday, so or the Friday or the Thursday. I think the Thursday because we travelled up on the Friday, but didn't have anyone there. No, but I didn't feel out of place. I was very nervous before, like day before, but then once I'd stepped on the pitch for the warm up, it just disappeared, and I was just felt at home.
Locked in.
Yeah, locked in. Yeah.
Yeah, and before that, obviously, when you got told on the Friday, I'm guessing, manager called you up or something like that. What happened the day before? Like, what was the kind of behind the things that happened?
The day before or the day I got called, I think it was on the Thursday, it was a bit of a random day. I was just training with I think I was training with the under 18s on the Thursday, and the weirdest thing did happen on that day, to be fair. We was playing football tennis on the courts, just a few of us. I'd done like some bicycle kick thing to get it over, and I'm lying on the floor. The next thing I know, someone just volleyed the ball and it's gone straight smack bang in my face. I've just thought, Jesus Christ, what's just happened to me? A bit of my tooth had chipped out, and I was just out of it for the rest of that after that evening. But then all the physios just doing all these checks on me, making sure I wasn't concussed, and luckily I wasn't. And then that just shortly after that, I got the call, and then obviously that moment hits you. You're like, oh, I could make an appearance in. Yeah.
Yeah. Were you nervous when you got told?
Yeah, I think I was nervous when I got told, but it was more nervous when I was in the hotel, like the night before the game, because obviously when I got told, had players like that I knew in the club, and the staff and all that already knew. So yeah.
And how was your kind of relationship with the first team? Did they kind of know you from coming out of under 18s Stevenage, or were you just new in the change room?
No. When I made my debut, like, I wasn't like, obviously I wasn't a main person in the change room. That's never going to be the case, especially when I wasn't training, wasn't with them full time, just on and off. You get your chance, you go up there, you got to try and prove yourself every time you go up there. You got to be your best. But it's not like they didn't know your name. They know all the players know your name. Obviously the staff know your name, and you could sort of have a few little connections with some of the players, especially younger ones in the squad. So it wasn't like I was in a group of strangers, like I'd known all the players. So
little family. Yeah. And was there anyone that kind of helped you settle in the first team, like any one of the kind of maybe a captain or older players that maybe they've been through the same thing as well? They were younger as well. Maybe they came through and they know what you're going through.
All of the players, to be fair, if you wanted to ask any of them for advice, they'd be happy to give it to you, and they'd give you some good advice. I remember speaking to Michael Boswick once at lunch, and obviously he's had a good career, and he's very, I would say, quite wise in football. But just had a chat with him at lunch just about sometimes you're going to be down, and he's just telling me just keep your head up and you'll get through it. And then I think that was very good. And I've spoken to pretty much all of the players that was there when I was there, giving me advice. To be honest, I'd speak to Jamie Reid because obviously he's on fire at the moment, scoring loads of goals. Just if I wanted any advice on finishing, hold up, whatever. And then I'd also speak to Luther Wilding, just about stuff mainly outside of football, and yeah, like how he's got his property business. I was quite interested in that. So
Yeah, I've seen his page as well. He's making moves off the pitch as well. That's good. And with the first team as well, when kind of obviously you're with coaches, you're with players, do the coaches give you kind of not different treatment, but they know obviously you're a younger guy coming in. Do they kind of lay out for you how it is, or do they ease you into the first team kind of protocol?
nah, if you're preparing for that to go up to train with the first team as soon as you join with the under 18s, that's realistically their job, is to, as an under 18 coach and manager, is to prepare you as best they can for first team football and to try and push you into the first team at the club. So I think once you get in there, you're treated the same as any other player. It's not, oh, we're going to treat you differently because you're younger. You're there because you're good enough to be there. So you're going to be treated the same as everyone else, which I think is better. I don't think it'd be better to be eased, and I wouldn't agree with it.
Yeah, you've got to face the kind of world how it is.
Yeah.
Because that's how it's going to be on the pitch as well.
Yeah.
And let's talk about now kind of the loan circuit, right? Obviously with Stevenage, you went out on a couple of loans to get obviously experience, game time, up your game. And a lot of players, when they face the kind of loan circuit, they kind of get upset. They say, oh, I want to stay, I want to gain game time with Stevenage or with my club. How did you kind of feel about going on all these loans?
No, I think a lot of players actually, especially when you're under 18 level, it's quite exciting going out on loan. So obviously the loan circuit you're talking about was last season. I went to St Albans, then I've been recalled from St Albans. I scored some goals there. Then I went to Tonbridge Angels, and then I went to Hampton and Richmond to near enough, and then finished off the season with the under 18s. But I really enjoyed my loan time. Again, it was at step 2, so a step higher than what I'd previously been on loan at. Competition's higher, players are better. So again, I just learned more, got better, developed as a player. So yeah.
Was there any moments that kind of stuck in your head being on loan that you learnt from, or that you took something out of?
I think the main messages that I took out with were pretty similar to what I'd learned at step 3 at Potter's Bar, which was just managing the game, learning how to understand the game, and just ultimately getting that 3 points, doing whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm. And what was the main difference you noticed between all these clubs and just being at the under 18s, just training and playing?
Again, winning games.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. But obviously at the under 18s, all the players want to win games, but there's not much on the line if you're not winning a game. Whereas that's the main difference, really.
Mm. So do you feel you kind of accelerated your growth being on loan at all these clubs? Lots of different experiences because they're different clubs, obviously, rather than just staying.
Yeah, I would have preferred to be at one club on loan instead of chopping and changing club whilst being on loan. But ultimately, that was down to me because I'd been at St Albans. I wasn't really playing much, although I'd scored some goals. And then the second loan and the third loan, I was playing well, but I wasn't scoring goals. And ultimately, that's what's needed as a forward in any team. So obviously, it makes sense that I would have been recalled and tried to go to another club. So I would have preferred staying at one. But obviously, once that happens, it happens. You just got to get your head down and try and keep going.
Yeah, that's true. And was there any kind of struggles you faced on your path to kind of, in your path of football where things were low, you weren't maybe adapting as much, or you were feeling down or things like that?
To be fair, when I first joined Stevenage, I think that was the main struggle. So obviously I was on a high of just signing a scholarship. And then once I got into training, obviously the intensity and the quality was much better, obviously, than what I was used to. It had a baggy touch. Just having to go out every morning and work on my touch so it's not baggy, so I'm not getting grilled. And then I wasn't really playing many games in the beginning of my scholarship. There's players above, they're playing over you, and it's obviously hard when players are playing over you. You want to play every game, but that was probably quite hard for me, but I just got on with it and then ended up making my way up and pushing up into that 18s team. then going on the loans, which was a very good experience, and then making a few appearances for the first team.
Yeah, and how did you kind of get out of that rut of being, being having to work on this, work on that, not feeling as good? What kind of woke you up, if you know what I'm trying to say?
Nothing, just kept working, just going out doing extras. That's all you got. That's all you can do.
Yeah, and obviously family there for you and supporting you the way through.
Yeah, but obviously it's a new club, so it's always expected, especially doing that big jump. I wasn't expecting to start every game, but I was also in the back of my head I really wanted to start every game. But yeah, I always had my family come and watch me, my dad especially come and watch me. So yeah.
And with your loan moves at all these clubs, what one kind of stood out the most to you, like, the way you really enjoyed?
I would say probably the loan I enjoyed the most was Tonbridge, just because of the group of players. It was a much younger group of players. I had some other loanees that were very similar, like same age as me, in the team, and it was just a very young group of players. So we all clicked more as a team, and I think that's probably what I enjoyed the most. But I enjoyed all of my loan experiences, but all of them playing different styles of football, which was good to adapt to each style really. But yeah, I think Tonbridge I enjoyed most just as the group of players.
Was it more relaxed compared to kind of Stevenage, or was it just crack on?
No, yeah, of course it's in non-league, it's more relaxed, you're only training twice a week. So it's hard to fit in everything the coaches wanted into those 2 sessions, but it's still very much in a session you've got to do your best, you've got to be good every session.
And was there any kind of funny moments in those loans, obviously in non-league and step 2, 3, 4, etc., that kind of made you know that I'm in these loans, I'm trying to enjoy myself, I'm trying to learn?
Not really, nah. It's just football at the end of the
Yeah.
day, yeah. Just get on.
And how's a day like for you when you were on loan? Like, did you different?
At the time when I was a scholar and I was on loan, I just do training on a Monday as usual. Obviously, it depends on the club, because when I was at Hampton, we would train Monday mornings, so I wouldn't come in. But for the other 2 loans, I would train Mondays at Stevenage, do a light session at Stevenage on the Tuesday, and then do the session in the evening at the loan team. Do the same on Thursday, Friday train with Stevenage, Saturday loan game. And then for my last loan, it was pretty similar, except I'd just train on the Monday with the loan team as well.
How does that work, training with Stevenage and your club at the same time?
Well, obviously, your club, Stevenage, know that you're on loan, and so they'll just manage you and just do a lighter session, really. So, but it's just so you're not doing nothing.
Yeah. Do you think that helped you, kind of balancing both?
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Good. And let's talk about your obviously loan spells. How do you keep confidence if you're moving every couple months to another place, here and there?
Like I said, you got to just believe in yourself. Believe you know that you're good enough, and you just got to keep trying to take opportunities to show that. So I think, and obviously doing extras, working on yourself, showing yourself you can do these things, it's always going to help your confidence.
And do you think that's kind of the best thing to happen to you going on all these loans in terms of your development?
I wouldn't say maybe it's the best thing, but it's definitely not the worst. But I think it help build my character more by not being so successful in some of the loans, and obviously learning in men's football was immense. So it was probably up there with one of the best. I'm not really sure what could top it, to be honest. Apart from if I was in a league first team, that would probably have been much better. But it all comes in due course.
Exactly. Yeah, got to be patient, and it'll happen. And then obviously after that, you were let go by Stevenage. Obviously, you didn't get your scholar. Did you have a feeling, because obviously we talked about it before, and how you were with your scholar and decisions were coming up. Did you have a feeling that you wouldn't get a decision, you were not?
I think so. My first 2 years of my scholar, I'd scored quite a lot of goals. I was doing very well, obviously making appearances. And then at the end of my scholar, I got offered a 3rd-year scholar instead of a pro. So that was a bit of, I'd much rather preferred a pro, but I'm still going to be in a professional environment. I'm still going to be at a professional club. So that was still something to look forward to. They still wanted to keep me on board. So, but then at the end of that year, I think I didn't score the amount of goals I wanted to. I was performing, but at the end of the day, I'm a forward. I've got to score goals. I think I scored about 13 goals that season, maybe. But then at the end, I wasn't I wasn't totally sure if they was going to release me or keep me, but I did have in the back of the mind I thought they might release me, but and I also did have that other part of me that was saying, no, I think they'll keep me. So when I got released, it wasn't too much of a shock because I also had maybe they will, maybe they won't. I wasn't totally sure. It's not like I was adamant I would get another offer, but so yeah.
It's equivalent of results day,
Yeah.
GCSE A-level results day. And how did you kind of live in that period? Like, how's your kind of mental state between finishing the season and waiting for the decision?
Obviously, it was no. So we got the decision before the season ended.
Okay.
It's like a few weeks before the season ended, and then that's when obviously me and my agent will have a talk like we do throughout the season, and then I managed to get 4 days at Colchester on trial, and then after those 4 days, I played I think 3 training sessions and 20 minutes in a game. After that, obviously it was off season. I didn't get my head too much in a twist about not having a club because I knew that I'd be good enough to, and I trusted my agent to get me a trial. I trusted myself that when I went on trial, I'd be good enough and I'd get an offer somewhere. So I just had my holidays, done training camps in Tenerife, which I do every year, and just kept working during the off season, working hard, and yeah.
And how were the training camps in Tenerife?
Yeah, very good to be fair. Luke Jones, top coach, and then
Man.
it's out there for about 5 days with a good group of players, EFL, like League One players, League Two players, and some even at higher academies, even from scholarship players in America. So yeah.
So would you say that you had kind of a little bit of a holiday, or were you just working the entire calendar year? Or
No, I enjoyed 2 weeks of doing not much. Like most off seasons, I wouldn't really do much. I'd go out and just play recreational sports with my friends, enjoy my time, go on holiday, and then even when I was on holiday, I'd started my off season plan, so I'm still doing gym, running, and then when I go to the camp in June, obviously, or when I got back from my holiday, I'm still staying dialed in on everything, and then going to the camp, obviously extra training, getting the work in during off season. So I enjoy the little beginning bit and then straight back to work.
Yeah. And with the kind of enjoying thing, you like a bit of paddle as well, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't these days?
Exactly. It's taken over now. Loads of people just came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, I played it for the first time last week. Never touched a paddle racket before, but here we go. New experiences.
Yeah.
You've got to do it. And in terms of social time, kind of leisure time as a footballer, what kind of things do you guys do, off the pitch when you have a week off or 2 weeks off?
Well, in the off season was probably the only time you get a week or two off. Obviously, it's more like 6 weeks overall, but holidays really is the main thing that I'd do in the off season, and then obviously just training by yourself or in the gym, running.
Do you try to relax as much as you can before you start up again?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Good.
I take my mind off football for the first week or two, just nothing to do with football really.
Do you never get tired? Not tired, but do you never get kind of the realization that this is your life? You have to always be in the kind of football sphere during the working year.
Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with that, to be honest. This is what I wished for. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to play football, so and to keep that dream alive and to make it to where I want to go to, I've got to stay in that, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm fine with missing parties, missing this, missing that. Totally fine with it.
Exactly. Seeing this thing, so many people dream of being like a professional footballer. I want to be a professional footballer. You ask a 7-year-old, 8-year-old, I want to play football, but they're not willing to miss out on things like you said, like parties, like all this fun stuff. And were there moments where when you were growing up, when you were chasing that dream of being a footballer, where you had to make these decisions to miss out on certain things like that?
Yeah, there was definitely moments like staying up, for example, on your PlayStation with your mates or whatever, but on a Friday night and going to sleep early and always eating well. But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed eating well. I enjoyed like looking after my body. I enjoyed going out and playing football, and I really wanted to do well in playing football. So sacrificing all that, it wasn't really a sacrifice at the end of the day. It was just building a lifestyle that I wanted to have, and I want the lifestyle to be that in the future I'm an established professional footballer, and that's how I'm going to get there. So it wasn't really anything that I'm like, oh, I wish I could go out and do this instead.
it's a lifestyle choice. You got to commit to it,
Yeah.
and you're doing that so far. And with diet and kind of lifestyle choices as well, what would you say is different for you compared to just a random guy down the road?
Most footballers, it's obviously you're in working, the main bulk of your work is a training session for an hour and a half, but then you're also doing the analysis on yourself, on oppositions with your team. So it's obviously very different to any other job unless you're in another job in sports. So it's very different. You also probably get a lot more time off in the evenings. You're not getting back super late unless you've had an evening kickoff. That's the only time you're getting back late. But on most training days, it's quite scheduled. You're doing similar schedule most days.
Hmm. And how's your kind of diet look like? I've seen the meal plans sometimes you post on TikTok. Is it like those TikTok meals, like the wooden board ones, or is it slightly different?
No, I'm always trying to eat clean. Obviously, I can perform my best when I eat good food. Obviously, maybe after a game we might have something here and there that's a bit more unhealthy, but for the most part, I'm always eating healthy. Obviously, now I've signed at Colchester, we get our meals provided, breakfast and lunch, so that's easily taken care of. And then obviously when I get home, either my mum will cook or I'll cook, and it's something we all eat healthy. So it's not like I'm making different things for myself, and it's quite easy in that respect.
Hmm. And what do those meals kind of look like in terms of the ones that are provided?
Mainly a lot of carbs because obviously you're training a lot of carbs, protein, and then just obviously you have a lot of veg on the side, fibers, fats, healthy fats. So it's pretty standard. And usually pasta meals, chickens, yeah, salmon.
Yeah, salmon. I do like my salmon. That's pretty cool. And let's talk about, obviously, with your lifestyle choices, recovery as well is part of that. Recovery is a big one, obviously, because you're playing all these games, you're doing all that training. What things do you do to kind of recover and rejuvenate yourself for tomorrow?
On my recovery days, usually I'll do something that's just nothing to do with football really. I'd probably watch football obviously on the TV or watch my games back, but I'd probably go in the sauna, go in the pool a little bit, stretching, and maybe a little flush on the bike, and then yeah, that's about it. Just relax and make sure I can just fully take my mind off things.
Hmm. We did do a little sauna before.
Yeah,
Nice and relaxing.
yeah,
I do like that as well. Kind of, it helps you. Kind of, you just sit, relax, chill.
yeah,
And also with spending time with family as well. I do believe in that. It's very important because obviously, family's family, right?
yeah.
And do you get to do that? Kind of sit with parents and you just chill, just have a nice time?
I like to spend time with her family, or she'll come round, spend time with my family, or we'll go out to eat somewhere, or we'll go do something together. So yeah, I get to spend time with my family. Yeah.
It's good. They stay with you as well. They support you, your
Yeah.
highs, your lows. And was there a time where kind of family were there for you? Maybe you need some advice, off the pitch, maybe not just football, and they were there for you.
Yeah, I think that's your parents are always going to be there for you off the pitch, on the pitch, and they've always given me advice. I can't yeah, it's your parents. They're going to give you advice, and you're going to take it. Sometimes when you're younger, you might not want to hear it, and you might think they're wrong, but they're always going to end up being right. So
Yeah. It's always that damn phone. Put it down, or no more PS4 at night, things like that. And when you were let go by Stevenage, obviously, technically you're unemployed,
yeah,
right? Were they kind of there for you? Were they supporting you? Were they showing you, what to do next alongside your agent, obviously?
yeah. So they help you make a portfolio and send you out to clubs, but and they send you a support package with stuff from the LFE, for example, if you wanted to go trials abroad, and the LFE have kind of structures in place if you wanted to try and go into that avenue. So yeah, and they'd obviously, if you got a trial, they would let you go on trial like they did, and then obviously once the season has ended and the off season's ended, it's kind of up to me and my agent, and my agent obviously continues to get me that trial at Colchester. And then when I went there, I was trained hard, played well, impressed, and obviously got offered. So it's most of it's up to you, but the club will always try and support you a little bit.
Exactly, yeah. They gave you that push, but end of the day, it's up to you. It's
Yeah.
about how bad you want it. And let's talk about Colchester, obviously. You were given a trial, and then you're obviously impressed, and they kept you. What kind of things happened in that trial? Was it just playing or drills or?
Yeah, I hadn't actually played a game, but I played a game in the off season, not the off season, sorry, the end of the last season, and then I was just playing well, training well, and then obviously it was good enough to get me offered a contract, and that's what I know I've got to keep doing that and not let off and keep pushing, and then hopefully I can keep pushing through the 21s into hopefully the first team.
Hmm. And did you ever have an idea that you were going to end up going to Colchester, or did it just agent just pulled up with, we're going Colchester, let's go?
No, so I knew I was going on trial at the end of last season, so I'd had that trial, and then they'd said they wanted to see me back in pre-season, so I knew the whole of off-season that's where I was going on trial. Obviously, I didn't know if I was going to get anything, but I knew I had to get my head down in the off-season, and then when I get there, just show my best self, and I did. I feel like I'd done well there and got offered, and then now it's just about keeping that consistency up and keep doing that.
Exactly, yeah. And when you were let go by Stevenage, were there teammates that obviously heard about what happened and they tried to support you? They told you that, they tried to help you out with these things?
Yeah, obviously all the teammates were there. It's not just me that got released, but all the teammates were there for you if you wanted to talk with them. Like, they're all there. They're all good lads, and yeah, I still speak to a lot of the teammates now. So
That's good, yeah. They stick together, ride or die. And with Colchester, what were your kind of first impressions when you went in, you saw the facilities and things like that?
yeah, I thought it was good. I was particularly impressed with how close the under-21s and the first team work, and how they want to push the youth players into the first team more and more. So that was something that really impressed me. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you got offered that contract, how did you kind of, not celebrate it, but was it with family when you heard the news, or where were you?
It was just me, the academy manager, and the 21s manager, and then we'd had a chat with the first team manager after. But yeah, obviously I got told and I was ecstatic, so I called my dad straight away. Then called everyone that was obviously close to me that I could tell, and thanked some coaches that had obviously helped me develop, and my dad's friends Simon and Joe, whose house I'd stayed in for about a year and a half while I was at Stevenage to make it easier for me. I thank them, because without them it would have been so much harder for me to get into training.
Yeah, yeah. And how does that kind of whole process work? Because obviously, behind the scenes, we don't. We just see things how they are. But was it kind of a week trial and then they make a decision, they tell you, like, what was the build up to being offered?
It wasn't specifically structured of how long I was on trial. I didn't actually know, but it was just keep working, and if you get offered something, you get offered something, and then if they don't offer you, then you've got to move on to the next opportunity.
Do you think that kind of plays with your mind, not knowing what's going to happen?
Yeah, obviously it's always in the back of your mind that something, if you don't get a club, maybe you have to drop down to non-league, but I think you've got to try and think about it as little as possible whilst you're in there with that opportunity to get something. You've got to try and think about it as little as possible and just keep working and think positively, like that you are going to get a contract, and hope things work out.
Mm-hmm. And have you settled well in, you think? You've made some friends at the club and you've got your ambitions clearly what to do?
Yeah, I think I've settled in well at the club. Like, all the lads in the 21s, first team, 18s, it's all close together. It's a good bunch of lads. So, yeah, good group, and we're doing well in the 21s at the moment. We're in a good space, so we just got to keep pushing forward and keep continuing that. And I've made my ambitions clear from the beginning. I want to push on into the first team, and it's up to me. It's not up to anyone else. It's up to me to make sure I get that done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Self-accountability.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you could do. And do you think there's a difference between being at Colchester versus being at Stevenage?
Yeah, I think obviously Stevenage didn't have a under-21s like Colchester do, and the closeness to the first team. Stevenage Academy is at a different place to the first team, whereas Colchester, we're in the same space, so it's much more, you're more likely to get seen by the first team. If you're doing well, you're more likely to go up, for example. So yeah.
Yeah, and you're obviously got given kind of another chance at Colchester, a chance to thrive and show who you are. What's your kind of ambition? What do you want to get out of this playing with the 21s?
Just to improve as much as possible, or like I said before, push into the first team if I can, and that's always going to be my aim at any club, to be at the top position in that club. So I've just got to keep working towards that.
And do you model your style of play on anyone, any forwards or players?
Not really specifically. I've not gone, oh yeah, I want to be like this player, for example, but I want to be the best version of myself and I want to be my own player. But obviously I'm going to take stuff from other players. For example, Harry Kane's great at holding it up. Son's great at running at players. Or I say that because I supported Spurs, so I was just listing off Spurs players. But you got players like Salah, Haaland. You just want to take bits from each of their games and what they're best at and try and put those attributes into your game.
Create the perfect player. Yeah, and that's when he said I base it off me, that reminds me of that Ronaldo clip when they were asking who's the best player in the world. It was like me. So it's good. And when you say you take the best things out of each and every person, do you want to kind of work on everything, become an all-round player, meaning you can play everywhere on the pitch, or are you just trying to become the best forward?
Just as best of player I can be. You want to improve all your attributes, obviously, but keep working on your strengths, keep working on the things that make you you, and then work on your weaknesses to make you a better player, because you're only going to get better and do what you want to do more if you're working on yourself and working on stuff that you're weak at.
Exactly. If you're not improving, you're not moving.
Yeah.
So let's go over some quick fire questions. People sent us some cheeky ones, we'll leave them out. But who's the best player you've played with and also against?
Played with, I'm not really sure. That haven't played with many, let's say, like high profile players. But played against, I remember we played against Spurs. Played against, I think Mikey Moore played. It's obviously a great young player, and I think he's gone on loan to Rangers, if I'm not wrong. And then just, most first team players that I've played with, whether that be at Stevenage or Colchester, you've trained with, whatever, obviously they're all great players, so trying to learn off them. So, yeah.
Yeah, and playing against Spurs, obviously, was that a Youth FA Cup or?
This was in a pre-season friendly, actually, yeah.
Yeah. Did you play against lots of kind of high quality clubs during, maybe a Youth FA Cup or pre-season?
FA Cup, FA Youth Cup we played against. I remember my first year, Cambridge, we got knocked out. And then second year we played against Burgess Hill. It's really successful in that. Obviously they are a non-league team, but you got to play what's in front of you. And then Wimbledon we played, I think, in the second round, and then just fell short in that game.
Were you playing or?
Yeah, I didn't play. In the first year, I played like 20 minutes at the end of the game. And then in my second year, I played both games.
And another question is, what's your dream stadium to play in?
I think because I support Spurs, it's got to be Spurs Stadium, yeah.
Yeah, 3-point lane. Someone used to call it 3-point lane. And let's do another question. What's your hidden talent outside of football?
My hidden talent? Probably that I can do the worm. That's about it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You don't have enough room in here for you to
Yeah.
Luckily.
Luckily.
Yeah. Would have to get the third camera out. What's your favourite pre-match meal?
I think the day before a game, probably spaghetti bolognese. It's one of my favourite meals, to be honest. Spaghetti bolognese. Especially if I'm cooking for myself, I'll just cook it before the game, and then that's the night before. Then obviously, if I've not got much time, tuna pasta is always a safe bet on the day of a game. So yeah, probably either one of those. Obviously, tuna pasta ain't that flavourful, let's say, but it gets you the right carbs and the protein before the game. So
you can't go wrong with the tuna pasta. It gets the job done. And someone's asking here, Alfie. All right, hello Alfie. Who's your best mate at Colu?
I don't know. It's probably Karai. He signed at the similar time. Signed just after me. Car shared a few times since he got crashed into. Yeah. But yeah, probably him. Yeah, speak to him the most. Yeah.
Good. How'd that happen?
What, his car crash?
Yeah.
I think someone pulled out on him. I don't think it was his fault actually. So.
We need VAR on that.
Yeah.
Cool. And how do you deal with pressure from fans, media, and yourself?
To be fair, it's not like I'm a high-profile footballer, so there's not really any pressure from fans or social media or anything. So it's not much of a big deal for me at the moment, anyways.
And do you ever? This is a weird superstition. Some people do it, some don't. But do you ever, maybe after a game, you search up yourself, you type up, Makise, look at what people are saying.
Nah, I'm not. Especially that probably only happens when you're in the first team under the spotlight of playing, and there's thousands of people watching you. But at the stage I'm at now, I don't. Not searching up myself trying to find out stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously I'll go on my phone after the games, see messages from my parents asking how the game went, or if they haven't watched it and stuff like that. So yeah, that's the only thing I'd really do after a game.
That's good. Just play and forget. Just do your thing, and then if they talk, they talk. One question is, who's one teammate you want to play with in the future?
But like just a player in general,
Yeah.
I would say, everyone wants to play with Messi and Ronaldo, but you don't know how much longer they're going to be playing for, so it'd probably be either one of them.
MMR link up. Get Makise up front, Ronaldo on the wing, Messi on the wing. And what does a typical training day look like for you compared to before?
So at the moment, probably it's very similar at most clubs, like I said, but we'd have training in the morning, getting breakfast, training, then we'd train, then we'd probably do gym, and then have lunch, and then depending on the day we'll have analysis on our previous game or on our game that's coming up, and then shower, get home, and relax for the rest of the day.
That's good. That's the quickfire Q&A done. I've got obviously loads of questions come in. I think they're nice range, nice bunch. And let's quickly talk about St. Lucia as well. Yeah, obviously you're from there. The tan isn't year round. So do you go there often? How is it like, in that island?
Yeah, obviously my mum's born in St. Lucia, came here when she was 21, I'd like to say. And my dad's from England. But yeah, I love it over there. It's so good. If I could be there all the time and still play football in England somehow, I would love to do that. But obviously that's not possible. So I just love it over there. Obviously I've got a load of family over there and I'd love to spend time. I go there as much as I can. I think the last time I went was maybe 2 years ago. But I think I might be going this off season. My parents love to go without me as well.
Wow.
Going at Christmas when I can't go away. So
And is football big there or?
yeah, obviously everyone loves football all over the world, and
Yeah.
they've got a local football pitch, and especially in the off season, it's well useful. It's an AstroTurf, so I can always go and use that and use the gym. So yeah.
Is it kind of a nice mental break, in an island completely far away from
Yeah,
Colchester or?
yeah. It's just good to get away, obviously, in the off season, and it's spending time with all my family that I haven't seen for a whole year or 2 years. So it's good.
Yeah. 2-3 years St. Lucia and forget. That's good, man. Thank you, Makise. It's been
Thank
great.
you very much. Thank you for having me.
Good. First podcast.
Yep.
Many more to come, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Saw Makise's journey, the ups, the downs, being let go, finding another club, and bouncing back. Obviously, that's what I want you guys to take out. Bouncing back and always looking forward, working on yourself and not caring about what others say or these say. So thank you, brother, for coming on.
Thank you very much for having me.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye.
Alhamdulillah. Always. We know Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.